So at the very top of the application is just this unified slash command, and when I say slash, there's some pre-built shortcuts. Some people love shortcuts because they're just very fast on the keyboard and you can type really quick. If you needed to change your status, like I could do this, set myself to do not disturb because I'm in the middle of a presentation, so obviously I don't really want anyone interrupting me at the moment. You can do some things like at weather if you've already installed the at weather app, and I could say, what is the weather going to be in Washington, DC today? And I guess it's not going to be as warm as I thought. I'm glad I brought my winter coat. And then, of course, separately, we've got your search box, which just allows you to search for either messages with a word in it, people with that word in it, or files. And then lastly, just because they recently hear your search results and they move the filters, but you can narrow down if you know what team something was in, or the file type, or who it was modified by, or other filters here to help you find things. Because one of, as we might get into at the end, is Teams is wonderful and I love it for certain things, but it can also at times come back with enormous amounts of information, and you have to figure out, how can I find exactly what I was trying to find? These filters are going to be your best friend as far as that is concerned. All right, so as we just keep going around here in our little miniature tour, this box up here is just to create a new chat. It's very similar to the one that you used to have in Skype for Business to initiate a new IM with somebody. And then you also, and it just works like this. You type in their name, it brings up the chat interface, and one of the pretend people in my tenant here, Chris, if he was online, you can see that we've had some conversations. These are known as persistent, unlike Skype for Business, where they went, although if depending on how they had been set up on the back end by your admin, they may have still been tracked in the back end at your company, but as far as you and your person you're chatting with, those were not there long term. You opened up the window, you chatted, and then you closed it, and that was the end of it. Here we still have over a history of time, and as you keep scrolling up repeatedly, all of that chat history is still there. So that's something to be aware of. Although I believe if you have any type of special regulations at your company where you don't want to save IM messages, I believe there might be a way to try to create some type of custom policy in the admin center so that you can intentionally delete IMs and not save them, but that's something you would maybe want to explore on your own time. Activity, real quick, going to just go through this. With this, I have, there's a few different plans with Teams. There's this free version that comes with Office 365, and then there's also the kind of like the premium, ultra premium plan, the E5 with audio conferencing. So what that means is that I have when I go into Teams, or if I go into Outlook and I have the plugin and I'm in a meeting, and I'll quickly show you here, make sure I'm inside the right one. And then if I go up here to do must not be in the right thing because my plugin's not showing up here. If this doesn't work, I'll just go back to the Teams client real quick and do it here. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you go to create a new meeting, what will happen is it's going to, in this, after you've invited everyone to the new meeting, it will assign a phone number for them to dial into. If you do not have that premium plan and you have just the basic free one, there will be no dial-in number. They will have to join via the app, the internet, or the application on their computer. And that's why I wanted to mention it to you. So the reason that I have all these people who have called me, and I admit, because it's Washington, DC, and that's robocall land, as we affectionately refer to it. A lot of these calls are just robotic calls, but you can see that I've had a fair number of people leave me voice messages and things, and if I missed it, that would be there. Your activity feed is a shorter time span. I still haven't gotten Finally, it's on exactly how long it lasts, but it seems to be between 2 and 3 weeks. Anything you've done or that has had you mentioned in it would show up here. Once again, chat, this is just your messages between other people and your contacts. Any meetings you had that had chat in them show up as a chat also. So just remember that these are not only chats you had with Jenny or Jim or Susie or whatever, these are chats also that if you'd had a group meeting and people were in there chatting, that you'll see that that's still here. And sometimes you may want to get rid of it, and you can either mute or hide that chat if you don't want to see it anymore because it keeps popping up after you've already left the meeting. That's just a little bonus tip I wanted to add for you out there. Okay, so in a second, we're going to come back to the Teams so we can get some more use cases. I can show you all these different things people have used Teams for. Real quick, we've got the calendar icon over here. I want to just make sure that everyone understands that all this calendar is your Outlook calendar. There is nothing special about it that is separate or different than exactly what I see over here in my Outlook calendar. It's just important because I get a lot of people mentioning, well, I would really like a different calendar for the people who are a part of that team, not it showing my own calendar from Outlook. And if that's the case, there's a workaround where you can go into the backend SharePoint site, which every single team has, because a team is compiled of a Office 365 group, which includes many other pieces from Exchange and Office and Planner to make it all function behind the scenes. And one of those pieces is a SharePoint site collection. You can go in there, create a calendar page, and then add it as a tab. And I'm sure I'll have a demo of that to go through in just a little bit as well. But I wanted to come here with the calendar to show you real quick as we're walking through. We've got some more use cases we can go into. Let's say we needed to quickly do a meet now impromptu meeting where we wanted to grab some people that because an important topic had just come up and we needed to discuss something immediately. That would be a great way to do that. One use case that's coming to mind for me, a major food chain has a large risk to bad news or bad things happening to them because they are such a global organization. So if something at a specific restaurant or with a food that goes throughout their chain may have occurred, there is a media damage control room where people get together and they all immediately need to start like turning on the TV sets, seeing how bad the news coverage has spread across how many different channels, try to collaborate with people on like how are we going to triage this damage control situation. Meet now for that because that's kind of an urgent thing. So that's a good use case for that. Other things when you might want to just create a new meeting. So these could be just your regular meetings that you're having that you're going to be holding in Teams. So they could either be two types. We've got your regular meeting here, which you just invite people to, and you can check their availability calendar. You can invite who you would like to it and type in some information about them. You could also hold it inside a team which is one of the containers that I will show you there over in the Teams tab on the left side. And what the difference is by holding it in a team or not holding it in a specific team is that if I held it inside the team, it would actually make a conversation and it would show little circular icons of all the people who attended. So this turns it into an attendance report of the meeting as well as and that as long as there was a team that topic was about, you could hold it in. I like this feature a lot, especially in one of these cases I'm going to show you for a software development sprints for a development team that had an ongoing software project. You can have your weekly call inside of a channel and inside that team, and everyone who showed up, it's going to be an attendance roster, and it's right there. But you do not have to have your meeting inside of a team channel, because perhaps if the meeting is all external people that don't work for your company, you would not want to pick this, because then there'd be issues with security where they weren't a member of the team and wouldn't be able to get inside to do some of the features that were needed. So the rest of the things are pretty basic. The location here, the meeting rooms, this is only if you've set them up, especially if you have team, well, you don't have to have team room systems, but this is something you need to do with PowerShell or within the admin center, in case you're wondering why you don't see specific locations here, if it's one of those things where you're reserving rooms. But another use case I wanted to show you with Teams is what we refer to as a live event. And we are going to call this the monthly update. What is a live event? So a live event is almost exactly like what we are using today with GoToWebinar. It is a one-to-many webinar style presentation that allows one broadcaster one producer to control the situation, and then they can also invite other presenters. So it may, for example, at one of the organizations I have some work at, they have a monthly update that they do to the entire government organization. And what they do with that is they will have one person be the producer, and then throughout, because they have offices throughout the entire country that are managing statistics of different things happening, they will kind of break it into, this person from the Cincinnati office is going to have 5 minutes, this person from St. Louis is going to have 5 minutes to do their thing, and it can just move along, and you can manage it and control who's presenting and make it a very seamless one-to-many experience. And the difference is between the other meetings and the live events is the fact that with meetings, people can take themselves off of mute and just jump in and interject. Live events, just like this webinar, you are locked down to a Q&A message box. Right now, nobody except Davis could interrupt me and with this call, because everybody else here has a restricted ability to ask questions only via chat. So this is that same concept. And one other note I wanted to make lastly is, if you do decide to record this, this is not being recorded in stream. You have to go about to get the recording a little bit differently once it's done, but you still can get a recording. I just want to make sure you understand that when you record meetings inside of Teams, those go into stream, and these I believe are using Azure Streaming Media Services, if I'm correct. But in the end, you can still get copies of your recording, which is what is most important.